Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us today for our IMG webinar series 2022, Meet Email Management Compliance Requirements and Improve User Productivity with Mailbox. My name is Kirsten and I'll be hosting today's event. I am the Marketing Coordinator at Microfocus here in ANZ. I am pleased to introduce our speakers today, Florin and Megan from Mailbox by Digitus. Before we begin, I'd like to encourage you to submit questions or comments during our event. To do so, just type your question or comment in the question box, and we'll do our best to get back to you during the Q&A session. If we don't, we'll answer your questions after the event. Lastly, this webinar is being recorded and will be available to view on demand in the coming days. Now let's get started.
Thank you, Kirsten. We're really excited to participate in the 2022 Information Management and Governance webinar series. Today, we're going to share why more and more organisations are implementing Mailbox to meet their email management compliance requirements and improve productivity. In today's webinar, we're going to cover the challenges associated with email management, the Mailbox value proposition, and how important the user experience is in ensuring compliance and improving productivity. We'll follow with a couple of short customer stories, show you a demo of Mailbox, and finish with a short Q&A session. We'll answer any questions after the demo. However, feel free to type your questions in the question box as they come to mind during the webinar. So just before we start the session, we'd like you to answer 2 poll questions. The first one is, what is your main documents and records management system? It's great to see that 100% of those on the call today are using Content Manager. The second question is, are you considering implementing an enterprise-wide email management solution? And if so, what's your time frame for implementation? And your answers show that there's a few of you who are considering implementing a solution in the next 6 to 12 months, but the rest of you are sort of unsure or not looking at a solution at this point in time. So over the years, we've been receiving a lot of feedback on the email management challenges from many organisations, and that their staff members are not capturing business emails as records and not using Content Manager as they should. Some of the feedback we receive from our customers regarding their email management challenges includes that staff are reluctant to save emails as the process is too time-consuming, an overwhelming number of emails and limited staff availability, the extensive administration time that's spent on capturing emails, an arduous task to manually add the approved naming convention to each saved email, and users don't want to create check-in styles, so they give up and just don't capture the email. Mailbox solves these email management challenges by providing a quick and intuitive process for filing incoming and outgoing emails into Content Manager. It can be configured to force users to file outgoing emails on send, so they must opt out of not capturing business emails as records. Some users prefer to organise their emails in Outlook folders. Mailbox enables users to easily link their Outlook folders to Content Manager containers, so they are automatically filed into Content Manager and the required records metadata is mapped and applied. Users also regularly struggle with following naming conventions. Mailbox solves this problem by using description masks to standardise naming conventions and do away with the burden of manual entry. Mailbox also gives users the ability to attach an action or initiate a workflow as part of the email filing process rather than having to do it as a separate step. In addition to its email management functionality, Mailbox also enables users to access and work with Content Manager directly from Outlook, making the Content Manager experience feel and behave like Outlook. Within Mailbox, users can easily view, create, edit, update, and email documents and records directly from Outlook. Actions and workflows can also be accessed, reviewed, and processed from their familiar Outlook interface. Users can also quickly preview their Content Manager emails, documents, and records while in Outlook. If users need to review and update record notes, metadata, and properties, they can also do this straight from Outlook. Now, in addition to solving email management challenges and enhancing the user experience, Mailbox also provides additional time-saving and productivity tools which our users love. Imagine you need to file an email into multiple containers, initiate a workflow related to it, and add a reminder in your calendar to follow up with someone in relation to the same email. Within Mailbox, this can be completed in one single process. When composing emails, users can use Mailbox to quickly preview attachments with one click. This enables users to quickly check that they've attached the correct documents without having to open them separately. Within Mailbox, users can easily convert and combine attachments to PDF on the fly, and also rename and reorder email attachments if required. Additionally, Mailbox can be used to remove hidden document properties and confidential information from email attachments before being sent to external parties. Now, we'd like to share with you some of our customers' experiences within Mailbox. The Office of Public Prosecutions is Victoria's largest criminal legal practice. Their email management challenges included that staff were not filing emails for record keeping, searching for and locating emails in Content Manager was difficult, it was time-consuming to rename, reorder, and convert attachments to PDF before sending them to clients. And some key outcomes they achieve by deploying in Mailbox include that the users have cleaned up and filed thousands of emails by easily linking their Outlook folders to containers. Mailbox also improved the Content Manager search experience by enabling users to easily search, locate, preview, and retrieve emails and documents. Executives and managers like being able to quickly schedule appointments and tasks when sending and filing emails. And within Mailbox Attachment Manager, solicitors and support staff like how easy and quick it is to prepare documentation being sent to clients by renaming and reordering attachments and creating PDFs on the fly. At Colac Otway Shire, the staff were overwhelmed by the number of emails they needed to manage, with only limited staff being available to capture emails into Content Manager. As an example, it was taking an executive assistant half a day to review and manage the executive's emails, and that's before they commenced any other work. Within Mailbox, the time and effort to capture both incoming and outgoing emails into Content Manager has been significantly decreased. Mailbox simplified emails management and automated the application of naming conventions, including the required metadata. As a result, the Council has substantially increased the emails registrations in Content Manager. Staff like the linked folders functionality and quick filing emails with one click, and also being able to work with Content Manager from their familiar Outlook interface. At the City of Wodonga, business emails were not captured into Content Manager as the process was tedious and time-consuming. Some users also had very large Outlook mailboxes, which were close to the 50 gig limit and impacted Outlook performance. The Council implemented Mailbox to improve capturing of business emails and meet their records keeping compliance, improve the overall user experience when using Content Manager, and also reduce the size of their large mailboxes. The rollout of Mailbox has been very positive, and the Council is seeing an increased number of staff capturing their business emails into Content Manager. Users like that Outlook is now their interface for Content Manager, and they save a substantial amount of time managing their email records. They also like the ability to easily rename and convert attachments into single or combined PDFs when composing emails. Now, I'll hand over to Florin Boyangiou to show you why our customers are excited about Mailbox.
Great, thank you very much, Megan, and welcome everyone. Today, I'm just going to walk you through some of the user experience and email management functionality that Emailx has to offer. And I'm just going to split my demonstration in three modules. I'll focus primarily on the email management aspect. Then I'll show you how users can work with Content Manager directly from Outlook and the functions available to each user. And lastly, I'll walk you through some of the productivity tools that actually are delivered together with Emailx. When it comes to email management, the most important aspect of it is actually to create an intuitive and efficient user experience. And the way we try to achieve this in Emailx is actually to enable users file emails from various windows that they might be in Outlook. So first of all, when Emailx is installed, if I need to file incoming emails, I can just simply select the email and click on the file button, or I can easily right-click and select to file an email straight from this view. Now, once a user selects to file an incoming email, they would see this filing window where they have several options that they can perform together with filing. So first of all, I can select an existing container I have in my recent history, or I can search for a new container straight from here. Once I select the desired container to file the email, I can just select file, and also have an option here where I want to copy or move the email. So I'll just, in this instance, I'll copy that email, click file, and this email now is filed to Content Manager. One important aspect of email management is to provide users with visibility in relation to which emails they have filed and which emails they haven't. So you will notice in my view here that I actually have these three emails that have these tick boxes that indicate the emails have already been filed. And also Emailx can be configured to add a file to Content Manager category. So I can very easily scroll through my list, and I can very easily identify which emails have been filed and which emails haven't been filed. Now, while I'm in here, and if I need to change some metadata for the filed email, I don't need to go to Content Manager. I can very easily right-click on the filed email. I can select where filed, and you notice I have this properties option. So if I click on this option, then it will just simply open the email properties for that record in CM. I can choose to make a change, and once I made the changes, press OK, and that will actually update the metadata for that email in Content Manager. If I need to file multiple emails, again, the process doesn't change. Again, I can just select the emails I would like to file either by doing a search or just selecting them from the list. I can right-click again, select file, and I go through the same process. So I can basically choose the container and select file again. Now, in this window, as I mentioned before, I can actually perform some additional actions as part of the filing process. So if I need to basically file those emails to multiple containers, I can just select file to multiple here, and then I can just simply double-click to add the various containers to my filing group. I can search for a new container. And I can say I want to actually add that to my filing group. So again, very easily I can build this filing group. In this instance, those two emails will be filed into those three containers. And again, I can just simply select file. So now you notice in here, basically this email now is marked as file to multiple, and the second email is also marked as file to multiple. In this instance, if I want to check where I filed that email, again, I can right-click where filed, and you notice it shows me that the email was filed into those three containers. And again, I can actually just update. If I need to update metadata, I can just simply open the properties for this email straight from this window. The same process applies when users actually read an email. So if I double-click to open an email and I need to file it, again, I'm in this window, I want to file it, I can just simply select close and file. And again, the same filing window would appear. Now, in this instance, you notice that basically that filing group, which I selected before, it's already in my filing instance. So if I need to file this email also in the same three containers, and I can expand to see which containers make up that group, I can just simply select the group, choose file to multiple, select file, and then that email also now is file to multiple. Now, this process doesn't change where I manage emails in my own mailbox, or I manage an email in the share mailbox. When composing emails and sending emails, again, if I compose an email and so I'm sending this email out, again, you'll notice that as a user, I have the option to select send and file or send. One feature of Emailbox is the ability to force users to file emails on send, which basically sometimes filing emails on send is probably requires quite a few steps, because as a user, if I don't already file it at the time of sending, I need to send it and go to send items and go through a filing process. So in this instance, if I click the normal send button, Emailbox is going to prompt me to file the email. And again, in here, I can just quickly select the container, and then I can select to send and file the email. Or if in this instance, I have an email that I don't want to file, again, in this window, I can just simply select send only. Now, if I need to send and file this email, and also I need to attach an action, I go through the same process. In here, I can select to attach an action, and then I select send and file. So what Emailbox will do then, it will actually show me the insert action. I can just go and select an action, choose the responsible location, and then just press OK. So as part of the send and file process, what I've done, in addition to just simply filing the email, I also attach an action for that email. Now, if I want to quickly go and check that that email is in Content Manager, again, if I click on this Recent button on the ribbon, it will show me the most recent container I've just selected to file my email. So if I click on this, you notice then I have this demo email 1, which is now in Content Manager. And this actually leads me into showing you how users can work with Content Manager directly from Outlook. So you notice now in this view, I see all the emails and other documents I have in that container. And if I select, I can actually preview these emails or any documents in this window. And also you notice in here, I have the option to attach an action to show actions. And also if I right click, I have an option to complete current action, reassign it, or show the actions. So very easily, even if I didn't attach an action, I forgot to attach an action, I can quickly navigate, go to where the email was filed, and I can just simply right click and attach an action straight from here, or initiate a workflow if I need to. Now, going back to my inbox. So the other popular feature of Emailbox, which we added recently, is the ability to link Outlook folders to containers in Content Manager. Now, I know that Content Manager already has the ability to link folder, but there are quite a few steps from a user point of view that actually they have to go through in creating check-in styles before actually they can start processing emails in a linked folder. Emailbox eliminates the need to create check-in styles. So if I have this folder here, which I would like to link, all what I need to do with Emailbox, I can right-click, select link folder. Now, this is the link folder window where I can select to file emails in this folder. Now, this folder was already linked before to a container. So, but in case it wasn't already linked, this field will be blank. So to go and select a container, I can just go double click. This actually, then I can search, select the container. And then I have the option where I want the emails in this folder to be copied or moved, where I want to display the new record registration form every time I drag and drop an email into that folder. But also in addition to these two options, I have the ability to define a standard title for all those emails. Regardless of the email subject, I can actually predefine a title. So I'll just call it develop. And so I'll just set this title. You can choose to select the record type, or you can choose to even automatically attach an action every time you drag and drop an email into that folder. Otherwise, in this instance, I'll just basically set these properties, press OK. It will ask whether you want to start processing existing emails. If you don't have any emails, it's not going to do anything. But you notice something else that now Emailbox has done. Basically, it changes the icon of the folder and also adds a suffix, in this instance CM, to actually help user identify which folders they have linked. So I'll just go into now also link this other folder. Again, I'll just simply go. And this was already set as a contract application with a default description, but I'm just going to to change the configuration here a bit. So instead of actually assigning a default title for every email that gets captured from that folder, you can actually add a prefix. Let's say you actually have a project number and you want the project number that is associated with a container to be automatically added in front of the title of the filed email. So I can just put a reference number. So I can just put reference 1234 and then just press OK. And again, I have these two folders links. Now, if I need to actually then transfer emails to CM, I can simply drag and drop them into those folders. So I'll just move that email, and I'll grab this email and move it into this other folder. Now, again, if I go to these folders, you notice how these emails are automatically filed. So again, I have these visual indicators that the emails were filed. I can right-click, select where filed, and I can quickly update the metadata or the properties. And also the same thing with this one. Again, I can see that it's been filed. And everybody that has access to this folder can also immediately tell that actually the emails were filed. Now, in this instance, if I select where filed and I click on this, it will automatically take you to that folder. And you notice something that, remember how this folder I set a prefix. So you notice that basically in front of the email subject, it added reference 1234. So this is what it means when you actually configure a link folder to add a prefix to every email that you actually drop into that folder. For this folder where I set a default description, if I right-click where file properties, you notice here basically it says development application. So remember the subject of the email was email with attachment, but basically the title automatically was preset to development application. In addition to the information from the subject, you can also configure Emailbox, you notice in this instance, to add additional metadata to the title automatically. So in this instance, it added the word email, the date the email was sent or received, the time, the number of attachments, and the from name. So all this information can be preset so that from a user point of view, the convention is automatically followed without the users having to manually change or display the profile form simply to just modify the title of an email. So this is how easy it is now. When I'm sending an email and so when I click send and file, so the other aspect of Emailbox, you notice that filing is not just about filing in CM directly. In this instance, if I have these two link folders, remember when I drag and drop those emails to those link folders also, they automatically added to my filing recents, which means that when I send an email, I can simply send and file it into a link folder. And then the link folder will take that email and move it to Content Manager. So again, and I select to move it from the sent items in Outlook to the link folder and then send and file. So that's how easy it is now to just simply go and send and file emails into my link folder. So the user experience or the process doesn't change. Or what I do is click send, and I can just select the link folder. If you want, you can set here the action to always be moved instead of copy. I'm just moving it in this instance and then send and file. So if I go to those link folders, you notice I have this demo email 3, and then I have in this instance demo email 2, which again, they are marked as being filed. And if I go and look at the properties for those emails, so you notice this one has the reference in front, and also this one has the development application set as a standard title. So it's very easy, very straightforward. Now, as a user, if I want to have a review of all my link folders, or I want to check, if I have lots of emails in the queue, Emailbox makes it very easy from an end user point of view to see all the link folders. And I can link a folder from a shared mailbox, and I can see them all in here and where they are filed. And from here, I can simply go and remove it, or I can actually create a new link folder. And also, as a user, I can actually see my filing queue. So I can also confirm that all the emails that I have from my link folders or emails that I send them file, they've been successfully filed. So, and if I have lots of them to be processed, again, they would actually show me in here and tell me the status that they are in relation to whether they've been processed or not. And also, in this instance, you notice when I send them file this email, because I send them file that to myself, it says that that was actually a duplicate email. So I didn't actually file the duplicate. It just marked the email as being filed. Now, there are situations when people just need to save attachments from an email. To do that, again, the process doesn't change. So if I have this email that has attachments, if I just need to save the attachments, I can just simply right-click, or I can use this Save Attachment button here. So again, if some users want to use the ribbon, they have the option to click the file, quick file, or Save Attachments. But I always tend to use, in my own Outlook, I tend to right-click to file emails or Save Attachments. So you select Save Attachments, and again, what Emailbox will do, it will show you this Save Attachments window. It will actually, if the email was filed into a specific container, it will automatically suggest to save the attachments into the same container. Otherwise, I can just simply go and search, or I can select another container, and from here I can select which attachments I want to save. In addition to this, what I can do is basically I can right-click and choose I want to open the attachments if I don't know which attachments is what. But also, because the title is inherited from the attachment names, I can actually change this straight from this window, because that now becomes the title. So I can just remove any references, or I can fix any typos, or I can actually type whatever title is relevant for those attachments. And then I can just simply select save. And then this is just a confirmation that those two attachments were saved. These are the record numbers for those two documents, and this is basically what I saved. And now if I want to quickly navigate to that container to confirm, or I need to do something else for those attachments, I can just double click on this and it will take me to that container, and you notice basically these are the two attachments that I saved. And again, I had a mask to automatically add to the title the date, the time, the number of attachments, and the from name in this instance. But very easily, now I'm actually, again, in Outlook, I'm already working with these records, which are in Content Manager, and I can quickly preview them and confirm that they are in this. If I need to initiate a workflow, I can just select, I want to initiate a workflow for that attachment, and I can just simply go through the workflow process, press OK. So that's now initiated. When you initiate workflows, again, in here, you can see your activities used straight in Outlook, so you can also process your workflows directly from the same Outlook interface. When it comes to share mailboxes, and this is a very common question that we ask, how people would manage share mailboxes, I said the process doesn't really change. So if you notice in here, I have an email here which was filed. I can see that it's been filed to Content Manager. Again, I can see where it's filed. I can go to that location. So again, it's exactly the same experience. And also, if I want to link folders from the share mailbox, again, it doesn't change. So I can just simply go into this. I can right-click, select link folder. You choose which container. Again, you can preset a prefix or a default title. You can attach an action. You can even export the option to initiate a workflow. At the moment it's turned off, but in this area, you'll have initiate workflow, and then just simply press OK. So which means that now if I have any emails, I have something here. So if I want to transfer that, I can just simply drag and drop into that link folder, and that will be marked. You see now, basically it's marked as being filed. So very, very easy. Now, if I go as a user, if I go to my link folders list, you notice it shows me that I have this link folder in the demo 1 user inbox, but also I have these 2 link folders in my personal mailbox. So very, very easy, very straightforward. There are a multitude of ways for people to file emails in addition to just selecting file. One of the feedback from, I think, was from Colac. They said that they like the quick filing. And the quick filing, the way it works, if I have these 2 emails, I want to file them, I can just simply select them, right-click, quick file, go to my recents. If I want to put them into a group, I can select here all group members, press OK, and then these 2 emails are filed into those multiple containers. So very, very straightforward. The same thing with attachments. If you have attachments that you need to save to multiple containers, the process doesn't change. Or what you need to do, you just say save to multiple, and then you just simply select the containers that you want them to be saved into. You can attach an action, or you can say I want to relay that to another record. So I can from here select I want to save that by related to another record. I'll just do a save in this instance, and then that's saved, so I can actually just go to that location, and that's the attachment I saved. Now, if I look at this, leads me, I said, into the Outlook client for Content Manager. So one aspect of Emailbox is actually providing users with the ability to really manage their documents, manage their records, access, work with them straight from within Outlook. They no longer need to go to a desktop client. Now, once I'm in this view, you notice that basically I have this new Content Manager tab with a Content Manager specific buttons. So what users can do from this view, so if I go to favorite records, because I have different types. So one thing I can do, I can simply just choose to make a change to a document. I can select to open read only. I can select to preview, which just basically opens this preview pane, or check them out, create super copy, update the properties. So if I need to update metadata, again, I can just from here click update properties. You can email a link or a copy or both straight from here. If I need to email a link to someone to review this, again, I can just select email link. This automatically creates an email and attaches a TR5. And you can create new documents or new records or new containers straight from Outlook. You can create open link to take you to the desktop client or create links. And also you can obviously update notes, assign classification. You can check the related records and add new relationships if you need to, and also obviously finalize, attach action, initiate workflow. So very, very straightforward. The same menu options also are available to users on context menu. So I can right click and again, I can select what functions I want to perform. Now, if I need to make a change to this document, again, I can right click, choose edit. This will just simply make a change. I'm just going to call this InMailX. And I'll just save it. So once it's saved, you notice it shows me that it's been checked out with this arrow, the green arrow at the bottom. That means it's checked out by me. Now I can wait for Word to check it back in, but I can also right click and say I want to check it in. You can make a new revision. I can say put a note and press OK. So then that's been checked in, and you'll notice in here I changed the company. Now it's InMailX. The revision is number 3. And also if I look at the notes, I'll just open the notes from here, updated company. So I just added this notes. So very, very straightforward. Now if I need to send this to someone to review, I can just simply select from here. I can choose to email a link, which is a TR5. I'll send this. Document. And again, I choose to send it. Again, I can file it if I need to. Then I'll just do a send and file. And you notice then I've done all that and I'm back to where I started from. So that's one other aspect of InMailX, is to actually help users stay in focus. Users don't need to keep changing screens, moving in and out of different applications. They can actually stay and work in Outlook. The other aspect of the client itself is in here with this preview, you can actually preview about 200 different file types. So again, as a user, even if I don't have, in this instance, I don't have project installed or AutoCAD installed, or this is emails, Visio, I don't have Visio installed, but I can actually preview and I can search through the content of those documents. Now, the productivity tools that actually we make available to users, and this actually adds a lot of value to every user at one point or another when using Outlook. So imagine that basically here I have a couple of documents. So I want to actually send these documents to someone to externally. So I can select these documents from here, and I'll just go to select a couple of different document types. Okay. And I can select, and I'm going to say, I'm going to email a link. Now imagine that you actually get to this point and you have some links attached, and then you realize that actually you want to send copies of those documents. You don't want to send a link because it might be an external recipient. In normal circumstances, you need to go back and say, I want to email copies. With InMailX, I don't need to do that. You notice I have this replace. And when I click replace, I can replace the link with copy, press OK, and this will just retrieve the copies of those records directly from Content Manager. Now, imagine, and at the moment, obviously, if I want to now check that these are the correct documents, in normal circumstances, you have to double click and open them. Also, in this instance, I don't have project installed, so I can't really double click and open this project file. I don't have Visio installed, so I may not be able to open some of them. Now, what InMailX offers is the ability to preview these attachments inside the email message. So I click on this preview, and you notice I have this preview pane. And now to simply preview the attachments, I just simply click on each of them and InMailX will show me a preview. So very, very easy. And this was designed to actually help users identify or confirm that they attach the correct document. I said, this is the Visio attachment, this is the project file attached. Now, this is the preview pane. What I can do, obviously in here, I can zoom in, zoom out, I can fit to width, I can set it 100%, I can search. And I can navigate basically to my document to make sure that, if I need to confirm that something was changed, I can very quickly search from here, or I can highlight and copy and paste somewhere else. You can also check if I go back to this Word document. In this instance, this shows me that this document has track changes. I can look at the document properties to say when it was created, when it was modified. But also from this preview pane, the other benefit of it, apart from obviously ensuring and helping users ensure that they send the correct documents, if I need to type my email and I need to use some content from the attachment in my email, or what I need to do, basically, I can just simply drag and drop into my email. So very easily, I can actually speed up the process of composing my email, and also I can actually very easily use information or text, which I already have in my attachment. So you can simply just go and you can highlight and select and drag and drop information from, in this instance, I can copy, I can paste it, or you can paste it somewhere else if you want to. So very, very straightforward. The other aspect is, in this instance, this document has metadata. I have these track changes, so I want to clean this information before I send it out. But I don't want to remove the metadata from the original document in CM. To do that, all what I need to do, I just select clean. So this is the EmailX clean window, and users can clean metadata from Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDFs, and images. Also, this window has its own preview. So even if I don't preview it here, I can preview before I clean, and then just simply press OK. So now I have this document. When I go and select it, you see basically all track changes were accepted. If I look at the information, it says it's just being created today. Very easy, very straightforward for everybody to use. The other functionality, which again is very popular, is the ability to rename attachments inside the email message. Sometimes in your record titles, you may have references which might be confidential, or might have information in the title which could be confidential. If you need to remove that, you simply just click rename, and then from here you can just simply go and change the name of this attachment. It doesn't change the title of the original document or record in CM, or what it does, it just changes the titles inside the email message for these attachments. So this eliminates the need for a user to copy these records on their desktop, go and make changes, and then attach them from their desktop because they simply just want to change the title. It's also, from a security perspective, is better because people don't end up with having records copied somewhere else outside the CM, because this actually is done just inside the email message. Again, before selecting a name, I can also preview in this window. Once this is done, if I also need to change the order in which the attachments appear, I can basically just simply drag and drop them to set them in the order I want them to appear in my email, and then just simply press OK. So that's, you notice now these attachments, they've been reordered and also renamed. Now, assuming that I have, at the moment I have quite a few attachments, instead of sending them as separate attachment, if I want to send them as a PDF, or what I need to do, click on the PDF button. It shows me this PDF window. Now, what I can do, I can actually bundle them into a single PDF. So you have the option to say, just simply want to convert them to PDF. So I want to have 6 PDFs, or I'm going to bundle them into a PDF. And when I bundle them, I'm just going to specify the order in which I want them to appear in the PDF itself. Again, similarly to rename, reorder, and clean, I also have the option to preview here before I decide in which order I want them to appear. So I can just simply go, set that order, type a name. If you forget to type a name here for the PDF, you can use the rename after, and then just simply press OK. So very, very easy. From an end user point of view, they don't need to have any knowledge apart from knowing, okay, if you want to send them as a PDF, click on the PDF button, and then once you click, you basically choose whether you want to combine. Now, again, I can see this is the generated PDF, it's one PDF. I'll just open it to show the table of content because, yes. So when this opens up, so you notice here I have a table of content. You notice basically those are the individual attachments. So the recipient can navigate, and you notice basically that was the project file. This was the Visio diagram. This was a PowerPoint presentation. So very, very easy. if you need someone to read some documentation in a specific order, instead of sending them separate attachment that they open individually and they can open them in whichever order they want, you can just very easily create a single PDF, and it's very simple for everybody. Now imagine that you made a mistake and you want to make a change. I can simply undo this to go back to the previous step. So undo would remember all the various steps that the user went through when formatting attachment. I can go back to the original TR5, or I can go back to the renamed attachments just before the PDF one. So again, the idea is you can make something simple for a user, but actually how easy it is for someone to rectify an error that they may accidentally made. So again, that was actually crucial in not just delivering the PDF functionality, but actually how do we help users ensuring that they send the information in the format that it should be sent. Now, in this instance, if I also want to include an email, I can just attach an email. I'll just have this email that has attachments. And now I want to include that in the PDF. Then I click on the PDF button. You notice I have this email that has attachments. So if I preview it, and this email has all these attachments of different file types. So if I include that in the PDF, you notice in here, there's an option to include the attachments of the attached emails. So this is a very, very complex PDF. So I'm creating a PDF from Word documents, from PDFs, from Visio files, project files, and also some emails. I'll just combine. And you can create a PDF. So if you want to have it, you can create a PDF or PDF file. If you need to apply security to a PDF, again, you can from here choose to apply restrictions or apply an open password. So again, you can secure that PDF if needed. Otherwise, just simply, you can say the order. I'll just put this in the middle and press OK. So this is how easy and quick it's been to actually simply revert my previous PDF conversion and also attach a new email to my email, and then basically include that email and its attachments into this PDF. So now I'll just simply double click to open this. And you'll notice if I go to a table of content, you notice here I have an email. And if I go to this email, I expand, and these are the individual attachments which they also have been converted to PDF. Now I'm ready to send this email out. So I just want to send it. I want to file the email, but I also want to save that PDF as a separate record. So again, in here, I can just select to save the attachment separately. So I'll just do a send and file. So it will send the email, it will actually file it, and then it will ask me to save the attachment. That's the attachment. It defaults to the same container. I'll just simply save in the same container, but I'll say I'm going to attach an action to this, and just click save. So this is basically how the whole process. Now, if I go to my recents here, so you notice I have my PDF here, and also I have the original email. One other thing that we do when users would file emails and save attachments separately, if I go to related records, you can basically go and select I want to relate that email to the PDF itself. So very easily you can actually then also connect the two together if needed be. Now some other very simple to use but very effective tools that we developed in Outlook is having the ability when you actually have an email that has attachments, you may want to reply with attachments. When you want to reply with attachments, or what you need to do, you can simply right-click and choose reply with attachments. So quite often, when users need to reply to emails that have attachments and keep the attachments, what they do, they tend to forward the email and then retype the recipients. And this is when sometimes it represents a risk because the users may retype the wrong recipient. So with EmailX, basically, if you need to do that, you can just simply right-click, select reply with attachments, and this will just preserve the attachment and create a reply email. Now, obviously, once you are in this view, you can select to convert the attachments or to password protect if you need to. Then you can do a send. Again, it will actually give you a suggestion. If you reply to an email that was filed, it will suggest to file the reply into the same container. So that's also a benefit. The other thing that Emailbox will do to help with email management, you notice in here I have file conversation. So what happens is when you receive emails and then you reply to those emails and you want to file both your incoming email and your reply into a same container, instead of doing it in 2 separate steps, you can do it as part of replying and choose file conversation, and then I can select send them file. So what Emailbox will do is going to file both emails. It's going to file the email from my inbox and the email that I'm sending at the same time. So that will be pretty straightforward and easy to go through. So the idea, as far as email management is concerned, is to actually help users build value in relation to how emails are filed. The other thing that we have, and you notice something else that happens, you can configure Emailbox to add this, what we call an auto filing tag. So what this auto filing tag does, and I'll just need to turn this option on. Okay, that's fine. And I'll just quickly restart. So what the auto filing tag would do, when users send and file emails to Content Manager, and Emailbox would add this tag to the subject. Now this tag is configured, the first 3 characters here, there will be the organization ID. So normally they will be customized for each organization to reflect their abbreviation. And then in here, basically this is information about which container the email was filed into, so that Emailbox will automatically identify the original container for the email. Now, you can have a process that automatically runs in the background and it will start filing these emails without the users doing anything. So when they get the responses back, they automatically file into CM. But if I don't want to wait for that process to be triggered, I also have this simple auto file here that will just simply go to my inbox, and it will tell me that actually I have some emails that haven't been filed which have this tag. And it will show me in here which container they will go into. So if I just simply want to manually file them, I can just simply select from here, press OK, and this will actually just go and file those emails. And if it finds a duplicate email, again, it will show a notification that an email was a duplicate. Okay. So this is basically, notice I have these 2 emails that have been automatically filed. But I said this also would apply if you just simply send emails, and this might be that you have some emails that already have this auto filing tag. You may respond from a mobile phone, and then basically when those responses, Emailbox will go and scan and identify any emails that have that and automatically file them without the user intervention. So this is an option that you can turn on, you can turn off. Obviously, with the link folders, you can create Outlook rules and have them moved to that folder, so automatically they get filed. The other functionality about link folder is not just about filing emails. So we had some councils where they just wanted to sometimes drag and drop a document in a link folder and transfer that document into CM. So there is a functionality in here as a user that for the link folders, and I mentioned this is where you can customize what you want to display in that link folder window, but also you have this option to save document items. So for example, if you have an attachment, let's say I want to actually transfer that to CM, I can drag and drop that attachment, and that attachment is going to be saved. You see here, I have this already where saved, and I can go, and this is now already in CM. And you remember how it had the reference in front of it, automatically uses that information. So you can actually use the link folders not just simply for emails, because we had situations and scenarios when some organizations, they wanted to provide users with the ability to drag and drop a document onto a link folder to transfer those documents into CM. Probably the last feature, which again we get quite a bit of positive feedback and users get excited about, is basically when they send them file emails and they need to follow up. So if I send email and I need to, let's say this is important email, and I need to follow up, you notice I have this option here to schedule a task or an appointment. So I can just simply, if I want to put a reminder in my calendar, I just select an appointment, then I click send. I choose where I want to file it. Now, if I forget to schedule an appointment there, you notice I also have the option to schedule an appointment here. So I can select to schedule an appointment here, then do a send and file. So what we'll do is Emailbox will send, it will file the email, and it automatically creates an appointment from that email and is configured to automatically attach a copy of the email. So if I need to say, okay, remind me to deal with this next week, I'm going to block an hour, save and close, and I have that in my calendar. So again, very easily, and I'm back to where I started from. If I have meetings with people or I have appointments with people, so if I go back, this is basically the important email that I put it. So I can open that and I can see, first of all, I have a copy of the email attached in this instance, but also it shows me that the email was filed into that container. So again, I have visibility in relation to where the email is in case I need to go to it. If you need to actually file a meeting you may have with someone, keep that as a record. The process doesn't change. I can simply right-click, select file, and I just simply file that meeting. Select copy, and you can see this actually changes to green in this instance because I configured it to set a category. And if I right-click where filed, I can update its metadata. And you notice what we do in this instance, because in Content Manager, an email and a meeting or an appointment, they have the same icon. You can configure Emailbox to add the word appointment to its title if you want to. So that's why it says appointment, and then that's the date, time, and so on. So this is a very quick overview of some of the Emailbox features, and Emailbox was designed to actually empower users, adapt it to how they want to work, to make it work for themselves, because I said we are all individuals. We all want to actually have functionality that makes sense to us as individuals, and basically try to do things faster and easier so that we can actually cope with probably what our job requirements are. So thank you very much. I think now I'll pass it back to Megan to see if there are any questions or any scenarios that you want us to cover.
Thanks, Lauren, for providing a really informative demo. I'm sure everyone will have seen something there that will assist them to meet their email management compliance requirements and also improve their users' productivity. We've got a couple of questions that have come in already, but if you have any additional ones, now is the time to ask. So the first one is around, does file to multiple result in the record being saved 3 times in CM? Or is it just saved once with a cross-reference for the other 2 files? Lauren?
Sorry, this can be configured. So you can configure to either configure Emailbox to save separate copies of the same record in each container, or to actually save the email into the first container in the filing group and then have alternatively with the relationship. So if I go to these properties for this email, so you notice if I go to related records, in this instance, it filed a copy of the email into that container, and then this is alternative within. But you actually, as an organization, because we had both scenarios, there is option in here for multi-file to actually have single copy of. So basically in this instance, so if I enable this option and I have an email that I want to file to multiple, you notice there is also this option to say, okay, I want to actually file a single copy, or I want to file separate copies in each container. And the same thing applies to save attachments. So both options can be accommodated.
Great. The next question is, can you link folders in a team mailbox?
In a team mailbox, if the mailbox is it's accessible here as a shared mailbox, yes, you can actually link a folder in a team mailbox. So if you see the mailbox and it's visible here as a mailbox, you have an option to actually link it.
And the next question is, you mentioned that the system will tell you if there's a duplicate email and
yes,
not save it into Content Manager again. How does Content Manager recognize it has a duplicate? Is this based only on title or title and date?
No, it's actually based on a message ID of the email. So every email has a unique message ID, which is generated by the server sending the email. So the duplicate detection doesn't rely on the title of the record being the same or on the date of the email. It's actually the message ID that matters, which is always what most of the systems actually use for duplicate detection. Probably in addition to add to that, also Emailbox will check for duplicate attachments. So if users save attachments and they already duplicate, what it will do, you see here, when I try to resave this attachment, say that it's actually been a duplicate found. So again, what we do with, and it says it's a duplicate of this record number, which is already in CM. When that's the case for attachments, for documents, what we do, we calculate the unique hash key for each document, and we try to match that to the existing hash key that exists in CM. And then if there is a matching hash key, so again, it's not based on the attachment title, then it's detected as a duplicate. If it's a duplicate, what we do is we mark that email as being file or attachment, and it takes you to that duplicate. So you see, this is the duplicate one that it found in this instance.
Great, and the next question, does InMailX work with SharePoint the same way it works with Content Manager?
Yes, yeah. So in this instance, I enable basically to work with Content Manager. If I want to also work with SharePoint, or what I need to do, I can just simply go, enable the SharePoint connector. I set up my site, so in this instance, I have it configured to go to SharePoint Online. I can just simply start Outlook. That means now I can actually just file emails into SharePoint. And what InMailX will do in this instance, also, if I go to this view, okay, it's going to log me on. Okay, I'll just cancel this for the moment. So it will actually add a SharePoint store, but also the option is then I can also link folders to SharePoint, and I can link a folder in Outlook to a SharePoint team to capture emails from that folder into a team, into a channel of a team, or I can actually link that folder to a SharePoint library, which is a collaboration library.
Great. And are there any further questions? If you want to pop them in the question box as we're just about to wrap up. I'll wait a few seconds just to see if anyone wants to add any further questions. Okay, it appears not. So thank you for joining us today. We hope you found the webinar provided you with some examples of how InMailX can enable you to meet email management compliance requirements and improve user productivity. As one of our customers said, simple and to use and a fantastic time saver. And I think I've got a minute. There's just one other question, sorry, that's come through. If you set up the link to Content Manager in a shared mailbox, is that link visible to all users of the shared mailbox, or does each person need to set the link up themselves?
Okay. So the link itself will be visible to every user. The computer processing the filing is going to be the computer that the link was created from. Yet, if another user wants to have the link processed on their own computer, if they go and they just simply, so if I go here, so when they actually go and select link folders, for them, they just need to tick file emails in this folder. They already see what the folder is linked to. They just basically need to enable it to be processed on their computer and then just press OK. It will give them some information also here as far as the folder status is concerned. You can see which computer actually filed the emails and what's the last filing date, and also originally which computer and which user created that link. So you have some additional visibility about the links. But yes, you can, the other users, as I said, we need to basically go right-click, select link folder and select to file emails, and then will be processed on their computer as well as the original computer.
Great. So just wrapping up, if you'd like to learn more about InMailX and how it can assist your email management and content manager user experience, you can contact us via email at info@inmailx.com or our website, www.inmailx.com. Thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your day.